one other question that comes up is like what you think is the good uh, KPI. I mean, like service SLA. I would say in my terms, but like how fast the store should attend to a BOPIS order and get it ready for the customer.
Well, I've seen so many different experiences, especially since the first lockdown of COVID over a year ago, and smaller retailers, and not even small retailers, but big brands who, let's say, have franchise locations, and the inconsistency from store to store has been horrendous. There are some retailers that are taking 2 or 3 days to fill an order for curbside pickup. There were some stores that were doing it in a matter of hours. I think one of the challenges is to, again, understand your business and your store flow. When your store is going to be busy is when the BOPUS is going to be busy. I would obviously want to be in a situation where you can underpromise and overdeliver a little bit. And having the software built in that sends the confirmation email when the order is picked is great. Because that way it's a surprise to the customer. I don't think that I would be an advocate of saying that the order will be ready in an hour, because it might not be for whatever reason. There could be a snowstorm like we've had in Toronto yesterday. There could be staff shortage or something like that. But you want to also be competitive and fit in with what the other retail businesses are doing. So I think it's reasonable to say, as an overall expectation, that a BOPUS order could be ordered online and picked up in store within 3 or 4 hours. And because usually 80 or 90% of the customers who are placing those orders are placing it from home before they go to work, and they're going to pick it up at lunchtime, or they're placing it from work. Perhaps they're already on their lunch or their coffee break, and they want to pick it up after work. And so building your rotation, if you will, around that, and your schedule around that is going to be great. And if it turns out not to be quite as busy as you think, and there's nothing extraordinary happening because there's no big promotion, or it's not the seasonal part of the business, then if you pick the order faster, then great. You send the confirmation email, customer's happy, but there's no expectation that it's going to be fast. A lot of times, with the greatest of respect to customers, is that they're accustomed to ordering online now for Starbucks or a restaurant, and having it delivered or picked up within a half an hour. Well, you can't go online, let's say, to a retail store and order 10 different complicated items that require someone to pick and be able to pick that up in a half an hour, because there's other orders ahead of that. There's perhaps complexity with the system and locating the product. So it's safe to say that 3 or 4 hours gives you a little bit of a window. And sometimes there's even one of the retailers I worked with recently, the delay from having the time the order was placed to the time it actually arrived at the store was up to 30 minutes. So, in that sense, the order was already a half an hour old by the time we got it. And so we really had to be careful in what you were promising. I think there's a great opportunity perhaps for some retailers to offer a premium service. And that's something that the customer might be willing to pay extra for, depending on the type of business. Let's say it's educational products for a classroom or something like that. If you want to pay more money and have it picked within 30 minutes, sure. But normally, I think 3 or 4 hours is a good window, because that allows for the majority, probably 90% of your customers, to order it in the morning, pick it up in the afternoon, or order it in the afternoon and pick it up in the evening.